baby. You know the biz. XUP, man. It's called Krause, the Crucian King, King Krause, a.k.a. that old black magic. I'm in the City of Champions, baby. City of Champions.
Off back-to-back trips to the Sweet 16, but Brandon Knight was running the show then. It's Carl Krauser now.
Well, they haven't missed much of a beat. Carl Krauser's given them a little bit of everything. He's scoring. He's even rebounding a bit. You see almost 4 rebounds a game. And like the old ex-amateur boxer he was, John, he can put the knockout punch on you by hitting those clutch free throws at the end of the game. He's a good free throw shooter.
And the Panthers have won 19 straight games in this building. They'll try to continue that this afternoon. We've got a cat fight in Pittsburgh. It's the Nittany Lions and the Panthers coming up. Krauser straight away for 3. Bingo.
Man, oh, man.
It's a clinic so far.
It is. What we need is an overhead trajectory. We let Jamie drop some plays at halftime.
XUP. What's going on? Right over left, we the best. Welcome to Respect My Journey. I'm your host, Carl Krause, Crucian King, King Krause, a.k.a. that old black magic, baby. Welcome, y'all. What's going on? It's always positive vibes here. You already know the vibe, so we're going to keep it like that. Tough game for my young PITT brothers, man. Tough game, man. It's bananas. I understand it's a rough game, man. You know, a little more guidance, a little more patience in crunch time. You know, it's real in crunch time. You have to get good shots. You have to run good sets. You have to adjust and adapt. You know what I mean, to their schemes and their defensive schemes, because they did scout and report too. You have to remember that and respect it, you know. So at the same time, you see certain things aren't working, adjust and adapt, do something else, you know what I mean, and figure it out. You see the big guys terrible on getting back on recovering, so you got to make a play, draw and kick, play some defense and rebound. Second chance shots always kills. You have to really connect on these screens. The screener gets open. You have to do these things in order to beat a team. I think, what are they, 14-3? You know what I mean? And 4-0 in conference play. They're playing very well, man. And, you know, today they didn't play as well. And, you know, I like to credit the defense of PITT, you know, at the same time. The shot selection by some of those guys, because they was coming off a tough game against Virginia Tech. It was crazy to see. They was, you know, they was shooting lights out. It was crazy, hitting tough shots. They was getting a lot of open shots. But, you know, credit Hunter and the rest of those players, man. They did a good job. I knew Hunter was going to be trouble. I knew Tyson was going to be trouble. You know, but a lot of other guys stepped up and they played well for those guys. So credit those guys. Clemson, great team, great coach team, good basketball team. Credit PITT. You know, they play well, man. Crunch time is just time to buckle down and make smart plays, smart decisions, and really care about the possession. Value the possession. I talked about this a lot. Value each possession on offense and defense. You have to lock in. You have to lock up. You can't let teams come back and get confidence. You had them down. You had them down, man. And it was cool to see. It was cool to see. But sometimes you got to calm down, calm the excitement down, control yourself, become more poised, become more cerebral, and become more confident with taking the right shot and finding the right shot. You have to make people pay attention to what you're doing out there. And at the same time, you have to be deceptive, man. You have to be deceptive. You have to, man. These things are... Second chance shots was killing us, transition defense, and not getting out of transition enough, or offense. These things are essential when you're trying to beat a team, man, and you're trying to become number 1 in the conference. And shot selection. Realize who's hot. Realize the plays you need to run. Realize, like, hey, who's the leader right now? And at the same time, man, if you are hot, you got to realize that you have the attention of everybody in the gym and everybody watching on TV. The coach is watching you, so you're going to have to draw and kick. You have a lot of points, you have been killing, and you have been getting buckets. You have to draw and kick. I'm just saying. And there was a few times, a few players are open, so we missed a few opportunities in these possessions, which caused these guys to be able to run or set up plays or be able to get second chance shots and rebounds and buckets and ones, you know, being out of position, not being in the help side defense in the stance, it's not seeing man and ball. You know, just some of these things in playing on-ball defense, man and man, is important, especially for the guards, especially in crunch time. They're supposed to be able to rely on you to lock your man up in crunch time. And you know, all of these things, man, and the guidance and the coaching and all these things, I think it played a big factor in losing this game tonight. But hey, that's just a little input for me, Coach Krauser, Carl Krauser, the Cruising King, King Krauser, a.k.a. that old black magic, Coach Magic song. But 1 + 1 is 2, never 2.5. You do the math. And I wanted to show some love to some of my ex-teammates, you know, from 03. I wanted to show some love to those guys as well. So it was you know, some trying times we had to go through. We had to make a name for ourselves, and we had to keep making that name, sustaining what we had. And we was #1, like, top team, undefeated, you know, during that season, 18-0, #1 in the country, and wins, you know. So it was a great feeling, man, being able to lock in and be able to, you know, install that energy in your teammates that, hey, I got your back. We all we got. I'm willing to fight with you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to lead it. You know what I mean? I'm a leader. This is what happens. I had to show. You know, sometimes you can show by talking. Sometimes you can just show in a physical way. I believe in doing both. So, it makes me an all-around player. And that's all I wanted to be. That's all I aspired to be. An all-around player and a great leader. So I hope y'all enjoyed everything, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm making a cake right now. Gotta be a little quiet, you know. So hope everybody enjoys this Saturday. God bless everybody. Salute to all my family, my brother, sis, Tisha Jonas, everybody. Everybody. You know what I mean? Rello, Reed, Deva, Z, everybody. I'm talking about everybody. Salute to Young For the Butter and KO. All my Nelson family. All of y'all, man. I'm talking about everybody in the world. All my people from the block. All of y'all. I love y'all. Everybody from Pittsburgh showing me love. Thank you. Everybody from surrounding areas showing me love. Thank you. I love training kids. I love doing my thing. I love training people, period. Not just kids, but I love training and helping people, man, reach their goals and becoming better in the pursuit of happiness and positive progress. So that's what I'm about, man. You know, respect my journey. It's right over left, be the best. Al, easy, baby. Let's go. Thank y'all all for tuning in to Magic's World. Vibe out with me, 2003.
That it's Luber, Smith, Mikakazi, Riley Smith, and Yagla, the starters for Penn State. For Pittsburgh, some veterans there. Krauser takes over at the point, but he's got plenty of veteran help in Page, Morris, Troutman, and Brown. These guys from Pittsburgh have played together quite a bit.
They have, and they have been a bit spotty in this early season. I think that's safe to say, but they're making huge adjustments. They've lost a bunch of points and a bunch of rebounds from last year's team. They lost 3
key starters for that team a year ago. Brandon Knight, Donatas Savaskas, and Ontario Lett.
3,000 points and over 1,300 rebounds in that bunch, John. That's a lot to replace.
And, of course, the big key there, the Panthers have had a little problem in the first half getting going in their early ball game, despite the fact that they're undefeated. But you've got a brand new point guard who works at a different speed than Brandon Knight.
Yeah, I was going to say, people shouldn't be surprised at that. A new coach, even though he was an assistant here, and he's not obviously unknown to these players, there's still a different feel, a different rhythm to the game. And as you said, especially starting with the point guard, although Carl Krauser's played brilliantly, there's a different feel to the game, and that's an adjustment period, there's no doubt.
Well, the game for the Panthers earlier this week was a sellout across town, the city game against Duquesne. And it was the defense of the Panthers in the second half. And let's face it, they have made their reputation playing defense the last couple of years.
Well, you know, it's interesting because they have made their reputation playing defense and specifically making you shoot a bad percentage. If you look at the stats, I found this amazing. John, there was only a half of a turnover per game difference in the team that won 13 games as opposed to the dominant teams the last couple of years. But the difference...
Back-to-back trips to the Sweet 16, but Brandon Knight was running the show then. It's Carl Krauser now.
Well, they haven't missed much of a beat. Carl Krauser's given them a little bit of everything. He's scoring. He's even rebounding a bit. You see almost 4 rebounds a game. And like the old ex-amateur boxer he was, John, he can put the knockout punch on you by hitting those clutch free throws at the end of the game. He's a good free throw shooter.
And the Panthers have won 19 straight games in this building. Too strong. Krauser runs it down. Again, the numbers for Pittsburgh. All the way in, bending, good.
They let the rebound come out uncontested and then let them dribble the basketball right down the center of the floor.
Ted Hillary are the other officials. That was a change because it was supposed to be Tim Higgins, but because of the weather, he did not make it here. Here's Page. First shot from outside, and it nets in the net. Well, in the first half against Duquesne earlier this week either.
And there's an area, though, with John, they have a big advantage. They out-rebound their opposition by over 8 rebounds a game.
Here's Morris inside.
Well, that's a bad start for Edgar Charles. Not that they're down 4-zip.
3 won't go. It's batted away, and Krauser has it.
So he's very confident stepping into some big shoes for Brandon Knight.
Brown works inside, goes back to Page. The dump down. And again, Morris to the left hand. Made it look easy.
You got to look at it with the left-hand dribble. The clean strip right there. Great call. Off Gago's leg and out of bounds.
Sophomore from the Bronx, and they recruit heavily in New York. The Bronx, New York City. Morris from outside, and he's on fire. 3 of 3. Great start for him.
Absolutely feeling it. And I'll tell you one thing Penn State's going to have to do. They're going to...
The early shooting advantage obviously belongs to Pittsburgh. That one is deflected. Page has it.
It's just team defense. They make nothing easy for you. Great pass. Beautiful bounce pass that time. That was very... I've used the word probably 3 times, John, but it is the best way to describe what Pittsburgh's doing right now, playing so efficiently. Watch the good reaction. Chase, get a hand up on the shooter. Krauser, we talked about, he's doing a little bit of everything. Now watch the transition. 1 pass, 2 pass. They've covered 80 feet of the floor with 2 passes. Turns into a foul to prevent a layup. That's very efficient basketball right there.
And, of course, the good pass by Jerron Brown, a 5th-year senior. And he is probably, in my opinion, in the last 4 years, been the most underrated player in this conference.
We talked about at the top, Krauser hits free throws as well, 77%. You can't overstate that. When you're a team that's going to be protecting leads late, you got to know your point guard can go to the line. Everybody can feel like it's ending the ball to Mariano Rivera. The deal is done. He makes the first one here.
The first sub for the Panthers is Chris Taft, the outstanding freshman from Coney Island, who's also off to a good start in his first year. There are 6 new faces on this Pittsburgh team. Krauser hits 2 from the line. The Panthers lead grows to 10.
Didn't let him down. Got the 3 back in a row for his season.
He is averaging in double figures, just over 10 a game. Page gets inside, goes back to Brown. It's too strong. Tipped up and in by Brown.
8 points a game in this young season.
Brandon Cameron is checking the lineup for the Nittany Lions.
Good help there. Great help. Troutman and the passing game. Very simple things like that. Just disrupt the flow of your offense.
This is Riley Smith with it.
Good hedge right there by Taft.
The dump down. Got caught winding down and a traveling violation.
Well, that's big. They earned that one. And they are.
All the way out to Julius Page. Shot clock now inside 10. Krauser to Page for 3.
Good. Well, that is a team of some veterans out there. Beautiful execution. Very confident bunch right now. They look like a team that hasn't lost in this building, John.
Good penetration by Cameron. Taft has the rebound.
Brown got away with a push there.
3-on-2 for Pittsburgh. It's Page flying in, missed the shot. Troutman the putback, bending in. Back headed towards Pittsburgh's way, and they have controlled this ball game from the beginning. Casey goes back outside. Yagla for 3. Too strong. Krauser runs it down. Again, the numbers for Pittsburgh. All the way in, bending, good.
They let the rebound come out uncontested and then let them dribble the basketball right down the center of the floor. It's been all Panthers so far, 21-7 here at the Peterson Event Center. And take a look at the nice composure. Shot clock running down here, calm as can be. Krauser draws two defenders to him, finds Page. Look at the shot clock at the top of the screen there. 2 on the shot clock. Very, very efficient. And then in transition, the same deal. Off-balance shot. Good composure underneath. Troutman crashed
For 6 points of the afternoon. Here's Jerron Brown. It's inside to McCarroll.
Nice when you can run a 7-footer at the shooters on the baseline as they can there with Yagler.
Pass inside, and he is the 6th Panther to score as he gets his first bucket. Summers in the lineup. Had it, gave it to Luber. He looks to Smith.
Good play by Brown.
That's got to be on Luber.
That's a good call. That's another. Again, we're talking about the team defense of the Panthers. Watch away from the ball. Brown steps in. Watch the cut here. Look at the top of your screen. Bang! Right in the middle of the number 4 on his jersey. There's not much doubt about that.
Krauser straight away for 3. Bingo.
Man, oh man.
It's a clinic so far.
It is. What we need is an overhead trajectory.
Short with a 3. Here comes Krauser. Head up. Ahead, Brown, up.
So many white shirts ahead of him. All 5 guys beat the ball down the floor.
Smith underneath, no place to go. Riley Smith with penetration. Offensive foul, no basket. Wave it off.
That rule change this year. No more. It's good. And then charge after the shot. All 5 guys back. And then look on the dribble. Look at it. 3 different players were ready. It was like take a number at the deli. Who was going to take the charge?
They used to be the Fitzgerald Fanatics. Now they are the Oakland Zoo. And the faithful here with their brand new T-shirts. That's the T-shirt for this year. They handed it out to the students as they came in before the game.
I like it.
And let's take a look at our Pontiac top performance of the week. You look at the performance of Carl Krauser. The reason he is the Co-Big East Player of the Week because of the job that he has done overall. He has been terrific. His first year running the offense. Smith from outside. That's short. Now Graves brings it up. To Julius Page, the native of Buffalo. Folks named him after Dr. J. Brown works inside, scores.
It's further complicated for Penn State. They're having a hard time.
Along with Riley Smith. Dump down, scramble, Panthers have it.
West this whole possession went down to 12 on the shot clock. Now they get some penetration.
Yagler spins, shoots. That one is blocked into the hands of and McCarroll back out there. A little bit of a foul problem for Troutman. That was his second, so he'll probably set the final 5 minutes of the opening half. Inside Taft puts it up and in. You're right, it's too easy sometimes.
It's just, you give them one crack in the door and they fly
outside. Too strong, McCarroll. He was the only one there for the rebound. There were no blue shirts around.
Yeah, Yagler got pushed a bit, and boy, they were slow to match up in transition. Page and the home crowd who braved the weather to come out and enjoy what has been all home team today. The Lions have been stuck on 7 for a long time. Look at that nice, simple pass. But in transition, John, you can't be that open.
It is a 30-second timeout, and the latest run for Pittsburgh rose to 11 points in a row.
I believe that somebody should walk up and whack that scoreboard. That 7 has been up there for a long time for the Nittany Lions.
It's been up there for about 6.5 minutes.
Well, one of the things, and again, you're dealing with young, it's like the French and Indian War here, and they want a basket in the worst way. Knock it down, a good look that time.
2.5 to go in the opening half. They went 9 minutes and 5 seconds without a basket. You can't do that against a team like Pittsburgh.
Look how effortless this is. About 8 passes on this possession, 4 ball reversals, guys posting up, good spacing, good patience.
Shot clock inside 10, feed to Brown.
That is the cherry on top of the sundae right there, because that was a terrific team possession.
Luber, here come the Lions. Stolen away by Brown. He'll be chased by Smith, and Brown lays it home.
There's never a time on the floor, ever, where offensively or defensively you don't.
Brown is everywhere when he needs to be. He's the guy that the Panthers look to. He is a 5th-year senior. He graduated last spring, and he just does it all. 11 is the score. The Panthers scored the first 6 points of the afternoon, and Bob, they really haven't looked back since.
Now they have. You can't think of 2 possessions back-to-back where they haven't been efficient.
Taft against Yagla. Jump hook. Good.
Oh, my goodness. Bill Chess, I think, had the contented look on her face for good reason.
Smith works on Page. Finds Ekakazi. Yagla to the baseline. Jumper blocked and out of bounds.
And they fly to the basketball.
Yagla pleading for a foul.
Beat his man, and who comes and gets him with the point guard? Krauser comes over to get a hand up.
As we showed you with our Hyundai first half highlights, it's been all Pittsburgh, and the stats will not argue with that.
Well, all you got to do is look at the second line down. 57% shooting for Pittsburgh, 15% for Penn State. You magnify that by the fact that they've had 5 free possessions, Pittsburgh, with the difference in turnovers. And when Penn State has tried to take a shot, Pitt's been there to block it. 7 blocks in the first half. Now, the Knicks have any kind of a chance. He ought to have a big game. I guess one way to look at it, he scored more than a third of their points. He does have 7 points a game. Yagla averages over 20. He has 4 points. They're not deep, as we mentioned. And when your big guns are really kept under wraps, there's not a lot of places to turn.
This is one of the few times we've seen Jamie Dixon on his feet, pacing in front of the bench. I guess it's because the Panthers haven't scored in the second half. Morris has it. Inside Troutman, he should finish that one. He does. That's why he shoots about 70%.
Terrific execution.
Well, the architect of a great success at Pittsburgh, Brandon Knight, with his new baby, and working the phone a little bit on the sidelines here. His senior class, the greatest in the history of the university. Better than Charles Smith, Jerome Lane, that group, but that's only going to last until the end of this year.
Well, that's true.
Another senior class will have more wins.
Well, you're talking to Ben Howland, though. You can only...
Pattern of slow first halves for the Pittsburgh Panthers ended today, but the second half a little shaky offensively until Brown nails his 12th point. A lot of that. Normally they'll stay back and shoot the turnaround shot.
He likes to shoot the turnarounds and the jumpers, but that was a good move going to put it to the floor.
So the run for Penn State was 7-0. The Pittsburgh Panthers stopping that.
So now you see Pittsburgh playing kind of with their backs to the basket a little bit more.
Krauser gets inside and nails it off the glass. He's got double figures with 10. He's averaging on the year 18 points a game.
Well, they're doing it more off of...
Krauser chasing as Page trails. Beautiful spin move. But the Panthers get it back. And here's Taft, the freshman, slams it on.
That's, in a nutshell, what has been Penn State's problem today. They make a good play. Instead of getting a run-out basket, it winds up being a dunk back at the other end. Pittsburgh takes advantage of every mistake.
That was a beautiful spin move that Smith made. Now he turns it over. Page from Krauser. It is 52-25. Penn State in front. Let's take a look at our BMW ultimate drive of the game. We've seen a lot of these.
But again, this is what good teams do. They get a bunch of easy baskets, and not much easier than this. Krauser very calmly finds Brown ahead of the field. He checks where the defender is and says, I got you. Again, with a little more experience, maybe he tries to find a hot man.
LeVon Kendall is checked into the lineup, a red shirt from Canada. He's from Vancouver, British Columbia, played for the Canadian junior national team. Gray fights it up and in.
Nice pass along the baseline.
Starts back for the Lions. Knocked away by Gray. Page trailing is Krauser. Julius can score.
They don't make mistakes. You give them a chance off of the turnover. They have not made a mistake all day.
For the rebound on the weak side, Krauser starts back.
He made a couple there, maybe forced it some. Tricky dribble that by Krauser.
He almost tricked himself.
Yes, he did.
Gets it back, puts up a 3. Good.
Very nice. Jamie liked that one, Coach Dixon. So that's what I want to see. Gave it up.
60-31 is the score. Pittsburgh has the lead. They've scored from all of the angles, including the high fly of Julius Page.
Pittsburgh is only shooting 31% from the floor line, so the defense isn't Syracuse's problem. They just have to eliminate the offensive rebounds.
Well, absolutely, but that's how Pittsburgh wins it. You know, they'll win ugly, but they'll win.
Well, what a pass by Taft inside to McCarroll, and he'll go to the line to try for the three-point play. Boy, has this kid made some significant contributions in all areas tonight.
Well, again, a nice job. They have that weak spot right there in the little bounce pass. It's like a backdoor situation against the zone. Normally the backdoor against man-to-man. But Warwick was caught looking at the ball instead of watching the cut.
Third foul against Warwick, and
That that type of competitiveness, you got the whole serve in the home court.
McNamara, long three, just off the front iron, and look at Tap get up there and snap that rebound.
Back in the day, they used to call it a snatch.
Woo. Did he ever get it? Here is Page. Brown underneath again for the dunk by McCarroll. Boy, that play has been there 2 or 3 times here in the second half.
Well, Pittsburgh's recognized.
Well, we wondered how Pittsburgh would respond, Lenny, and they have picked apart this Syracuse defense with precision.
And they certainly have, and they attacked the 2-3 zone the way you should. Getting good shots and hitting the offensive glass, moving the ball, hitting the soft spot. They were able to run against it as well as they foiled the Syracuse pressure. And on the other end, they did a nice job of taking Jerry McNamara pretty much out of this basketball game and making it very difficult on Hakeem Warwick down low.
And Pittsburgh looking to remain with those teams that share just one loss in the conference. Syracuse would drop to 3-2, and remember, these teams will play later in the season.
Different defender out there in Chevy Troutman that Hakeem Warwick's trying to go after.
And Troutman finishes, and he'll go to the line. He was fouled. And it was Pace that hit him in the head.
And just when you think Pittsburgh's trying to lull you to sleep, here they are showing that they can push the ball up the floor. And Troutman is the guy, we talked about him, the perpetual motion man, running and getting fouled.
Lenny, let's think about this. Syracuse, the defending national champions, coming off a loss at Seton Hall. They averaged nearly 82 points a game. Here they are on their home court, 30,000 fans, and Pittsburgh is absolutely controlling the tempo of this game.
Well, they absolutely are, and that just demonstrates what type of team this Pittsburgh team is. Unselfish, not really a star on this team, certainly a star in the making in Chris Tapp. Julius Page is known for his athleticism, but together, you know, these guys are able to impose their will. They've been able to slow the game down.
Just reversed it too hard off the glass. Here's Jerron Brown. Nichols gets back on him and commits the foul, and the basket is good.
And that's a senior for you right there. He knew who he had on him, took his time, didn't rush, jump stopped and got the freshman to commit himself. That's just an excellent heady play. Now watch Brown. He sees him, gets him down low, pump fakes, gets him to commit, uses that upper body strength, and takes the freshman to school. Once again, gets Nichols off his feet. Explosive
win. Yeah.
Explosive win. Close game against Cincinnati, and then at some point in the second half just blew it open. And Cincinnati is an excellent basketball team. But somehow Louisville kicked it up to another notch. 3-point shooting, rebounding, pressure.
Krauser with McNamara coming right out at him.
You know, Pittsburgh normally will sit back on you. They'll play man-to-man. They won't gamble. They'll force you to come to them. Hence, they've been able to keep people under, try to fire up threes against this 2-3 zone.
Jerron Brown, who graduated with a degree in social sciences last May, is a redshirt senior. Originally committed to go to Kentucky, but when Rick Pitino went to the NBA, Jerron Brown changed his mind and had a wonderful career with Pittsburgh. Here is Page on the baseline, met by Watkins. Now, it's knocked away and picked up by McNamara. Tries to find Edelin in traffic. Edelin somehow came up with it, but then he turns it back over. Krauser challenged by McNamara. Krauser loves the big stage, and the bigger the stage, he says, the more he likes to perform.
There's the use of the high post right there just to get some ball movement, create that triangle, make the defense shift. Has to guard the ball, and there's a gap right there between McNamara and Edelin, and Brown exploits it. You know, that game. And I said he took him out of the ball game, 6 for 15, but at critical times, he just wasn't able to make anything. And he still has a double-double.
Back shot by Julius Page.
Big East, 666 wins. He knows what he's supposed to do with these guys.
Youngster Watkins was called for the foul, his second.
But I would not want to be in that locker room on the first day of practice after this game.
Unless Syracuse can somehow pull off a miraculous comeback here. Krauser fending off McCroskey with his off arm. McCarroll, who's hit 1-3, make it 2 here in the second half. And it's going to be after the timeout. Lloyd Krauser found the open man. And Javon Stroutman on the bench loves it.
Here's the attack. Draws the defender. Watkins off his feet. The next short corner is where it's over. Watch again. Watkins off his feet. Well, Jamie certainly was one of the architects of that defensive system. As you look at the progression, if you will, each year it's gotten better and better. This year they're starting to get even better than that 15-7 of last year. But the fact is, tonight they've surpassed that, and it comes down to, again, the effort, the teamwork on defense, and the willingness for guys to help each other. And of course it helps when you got a Chris Taft in the middle who's dissuading a lot of layups with his shot blocking capability.
That field goal percentage defense started out in the late 90s there. It was in the low 40%. Now it's difficult for opponents to get to 40%. There's that play again, and this time it's Morris. Corey Morris, the senior.
Well, the other thing about Pittsburgh, we talked about them attacking.
Edelin misses the front end, and it's the Panthers that control. Edelin just a 54% free throw shooter. Both of these teams ranked very low in the conference. Syracuse ranked 11th and Pittsburgh 12th in terms of free throw shooting in the Big East. Gary Demetrius, number 3 in the ballgame for the Panthers.
So in that clock situation, there actually was no error to correct. Jamie Dixon was calling for something because the clock had not started, but the officials hadn't awarded any erroneous points or put anybody on the free throw. By attacking that zone, and they've done it with surgical precision. The back door to the short corner once, and then again, the back door to the short corner again. Pittsburgh done a terrific job, and they get the job done. The guy who was held down as he tried to make his jump.
Yeah. Here comes the pressure now from Syracuse. Tap the lob, Pat McCarroll. That's the way to handle the pressure, going right over the top of it.
And who would expect the 6?
Dropping back in the ballgame. Warwick immediately goes at him. Got the shot away, but it was too strong.
That's a different defender out there in Chevy Troutman that the team Warwick's trying to go after.
And Troutman finishes, and he'll go to the line. He was fouled. And it was Case that hit him in the head.
And just when you think Pittsburgh's trying to lull you to sleep, here they are showing that they can push the ball up the floor. And Troutman is the guy, we talked about him, the perpetual motion man, running and getting fouled.
Lenny, let's think about this. Pittsburgh almost as many points in the paint as Syracuse has total points on the night.
And most of that is out of the Pittsburgh half court. And we talked about it again, the interior passing, the unselfishness, looking inside, the offensive rebounds, and the putbacks. That's Pittsburgh basketball. And as we mentioned before, 75-12 in the last 3 years, the best among the Division I schools. People better wake up and recognize that this is a program you got to reckon with. These guys are good.
And they've got some outstanding ball players already committed to join them next year and the year after. And Pittsburgh on the road wins it by a final of 66-45. The 2004 Australian Open is coming up next. This has been a presentation. Dave Schrader, thanks for joining us. The freshman Taft came up big in his first appearance here at the Courier Dome. Now stay with us here on ESPN2. The 2004 Australian Open coming up next.
By Kristoff. Taft. A little bit long. Troutman on the offensive glass with the defense. And here's Krauser on the push. Nothing there. And the block by Corian Jones. Taft had it but lost it on the way up. Got it back and scored. It's amazing. Nothing there. Tough shot. Ripped off the rim by Taft. A 6'10 freshman from Coney Island, New York. Krauser, a tough runner. How about that control, though? They were set up for the charge. Great body control. The Francis took it to the bucket.
See Krauser taking it all the way, absorbing a bump, little push off, and somebody's got to step in front there. Not in time. Tom Timmerman's coming over. Good body control there by Krauser.
Time out with 11:45 left in the first half. Notre Dame leading by 2. A memorable week in the Big East. A number of buzzer beaters, including one by Krauser. More on that when we come back.
View
of the driver. Colin Falls with a three-pointer. Part of the surge for Notre Dame over these last 6 games has been his shooting. Over the last 8 games, he's shot 45% from three. Krauser answers at the other end.
They're going to play.
5 guys from Pittsburgh have to go to the glass.
And they're pretty good at that, too, generally speaking. Brown and Page, excellent rebounders.
4 blocks already for the Panthers. Krauser got his shot affected by Francis. He got knocked to the deck by Timmermans. And the crowd can't believe there's no call. Chris Thomas spots up for 3. The rebound, Francis. A flop by Cheltman. And a foul called on Cheltman. Further angering the crowd.
You know, Timmermans against Villanova had a very hard foul on Ray, intentional. He's an aggressive player. I don't think he realizes how.
He didn't do anything there. He was falling down.
But he still is a physical kid. I mean, he just moves the arms, and John Clardy expressing the same to Krauser.
It just looked bad, but we're on that
he didn't follow through with his arm across the top.
View of the driver.
Colin Falls with a three-pointer. Part of the surge for Notre Dame over these last 6 games has been his shooting. Over the last 8 games, he's shot 45% from three. Krauser answers at the other end. For the foul as Francis took it to the bucket.
See Krauser taking it all the way, absorbing a bump, little push-off, and somebody's got to step in front there. Not in time. Tom Timmerman's coming over. Good body control there by Krauser to avoid the charge.
Without saying what up, Wani, what up, Wani? Peace, peace. Young Yizzo, what up, Young Yizzo? Let's go, T. Shabonte, let's go. You already know what it is, baby. You know the biz. XUP, man. It's called Krauser, the Crucian King, King Krauser, a.k.a. that old black magic. I'm in the City of Champions, baby. City of Champions. Let's go. Panther basketball. Krauser, 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 Krauser.
Push is so efficient.
Irving, cookies, he takes it away from Johnson. High steps to the rim.
I put all the sauce on this one. Inside out, stepping through the lane. That's
Yeah, baby. Always love. Showtime, baby. Let's go. Hope y'all get that dub tomorrow, Pitt. Thanks, Betty. Keep doing your job. Cummins, everybody. Elliot, everybody. All y'all, man. Federico, everybody. Y'all keep doing y'all thing, all right? Salute to all of y'all. Keep rocking out. Easy, man. H2X, baby.
Panthers, led by Carl Krauser, out to a 3-point lead. It's quarterfinal round action from Madison Square Garden.